On today's show, the Habs signed a new player, Alexander Texier. I'll tell you all about it. Florian Xhekaj impressed last night against the Leafs. Should he stay up with Montreal? Are the Habs regressing back to the team of the early last season? What the fuck is wrong with the goalies? And the Habs bounce back against the Leafs. I'll also have a look at last week's games, my Habs 3 stars of the week, and a look at my predictions for next week's games. And HabNormals starts right now. All right. Thanks for joining me for HabNormals. All right. So, like I said, Montreal just signed a new player, Alexander Texier, of late of the St. Louis Blues. I'll give you all the details. It's a 1-year deal. It's not much of a commitment. And he is basically a fourth line player, bottom six guy, in my opinion, anyway. All right, let's start the show with a look at last week's games. It was a so-so week last week. That's a bit of a joke. Let's take a look. All right, so we had 3 games: Monday, Thursday, Saturday. They were in Columbus, and then back home against Washington and Toronto on Saturday. The week started not well. A game I kind of thought they would win. Columbus, very similar teams stats wise and all that, and it was a very close game, and went to overtime. Didn't get settled there, and it did get settled there. Excuse me, I thought that was a shootout. Maybe I put that wrong? Yeah, I've got that wrong. It was a shootout loss. I typed that in on that wrong, but I have it on my paper right. So it was a shootout loss, very close. They couldn't decide it through 5 minutes of overtime. And I don't know if it was 3 or 4 shooters in the shootout, but a loss for Montreal. They picked up an important point because they had lost 5 in a row. Or no, they had lost 3 in a row at that point. And they picked up a point, and it looked like, hey, maybe, they didn't play that bad. Maybe there's things were going to get better. Then they got back home against Washington, and how do I want to put that? When I asked earlier, what the fuck is wrong with the goalies? That was probably the game where that question definitely came about. Both goalies did not do well. Monty was in for the first 3 goals. He looked kind of shaky. Dobish came in and gave up 4 goals because there was an empty netter in an 8-4 loss. I mean, it's a game you want to forget and just put it behind you and try to do that, which they did, because on Saturday against Toronto, not a great Toronto team, though. Got, no Austin Matthews, no Matthew Nyes, missing a couple of other players, just not playing well. Power play sucked. Everything, they just sucked, which was what Montreal needed. And they pulled out a 5-2 win. And it was just what the doctor ordered, in my opinion, anyway. And I said that before the game started, that I think it's what Montreal needs. Another shitty team, and one of these 2 shitty teams will be less shitty after this game. Anyways, Montreal looked good in the win. Dobish played well. After having 3 starts that weren't great, and the relief of Monty. So he came back. Hopefully that's something that he'll build on and get back to where he was in his first 6 or 7 games. What else do I want to say about that? It was not a great week, but they ended the week on a positive note, and hopefully going on the road, because now they're on the road for 3 games. Hopefully they can, they're doing pretty good, I believe, on the road as well. They can build on this win against Toronto with the new player. That could help, especially if he helps settle down that 4th line. Anyways, my picks. how did I have it? As you can see on the bottom there, my record coming in my picks, I was 14-4 coming into this week. I ended up with, let's go to this one. So I ended up with a 2-1 week. I had a win in Columbus 3-2. That was wrong. I had it a loss, and it doesn't matter the score. It's just the wins and losses, by the way. I had it a 5-4 loss against Washington. They lost. They scored 4 goals. But I didn't have the other part right. And then I had a 3-2 win against Toronto. We won 5-2. So I went 2-1. And if you add that up, I'm at 16-5 so far. It's pretty good. Can't complain, but I don't know. I don't know if I can keep that going all season. Anyways, if you want to let me know how you thought the week would go, let me know in the comment section. And we are going to take a look at, just going to go, just stay here. We're going to take a look at my Habs 3 stars of the week. There were a lot of options. This week. The week before, I had to stretch it to make 3 stars for the week, and I had no honorable mentions. This week I have 2 honorable mentions, and I have 3 stars. And like I said, a lot of choices. Players racked up some points this week. So let's take a look at the first star. For the first star, I have Noah Dobson, 2 goals, 2 assists. He had 2 goals in 1 game with the game winner in that game. He's been playing well this week. He's been playing well all season. Noah Dobson has, in my opinion, not only settled down that first pairing, but settled down Mike Matheson too, right? Mike Matheson's been fantastic this season, not making some of those mistakes that he makes, those turnovers. Like, he's been a different player. So a lot to do with Dobson, in my opinion. And Dobson, I thought, had a really solid week, and he gets my 3rd star. Second star, he's racking up the stars this year already, is Lane Hutson. Lane Hutson also had 2 goals, 2 assists, doing Lane Hutson things, spinning, turning, weaving, scoring 2 goals, and setting up 2. And Lane Hutson, I thought, had a really solid week, as he normally does, except nobody did the week before. So good to see the players, getting back to producing some points and playing well overall. Even though they lost 2 games, like I said, though, the Columbus game was a close game, went to a shootout. So, it was a close game. Just the Washington game was a total write-off. Okay, so Lane Hutson is the 2nd star. Noah Dobson, 3rd star. Who is the 1st star? The aforementioned Mike Matheson I thought, had a pretty good week. 1 goal, 4 assists. I was trying to think of something like a play where I thought he really screwed up, bad turnover. So I couldn't really think of anything except positive things with Matheson. 5 points for the week, just playing solidly. Such a difference in Matheson this season. I just thought, it's those glaring mistakes that are missing from his game is what I noticed. So I have him as the 1st star. Let me know in the comment section who your 3 stars would be for last week. I'm going to give you my honorable mentions. I've got 2 of them. I'll bring them out at the same time. And where am I now? Honorable mentions are down here. All right. So Ivan Demidov had 4 assists, and he was good this week. I mean, that Dobson 2nd goal against, I guess it's Toronto, was sublime. Just a little touch pass, right? He gets the puck and just a little pass back to Dobson, who fires it in for the goal. Just stuff like that with Demidov this week. I just thought, we're starting to see. I mean, he's leading the rookies. I think he's got 17 points now. We're starting to see him emerge, I hope. And I'd like to see a little more consistency. But I mean, he makes such nice passes. They're just things of beauty. Ivan Demidov, I don't know, what can you say? He's an honorable mention. Maybe in any other week, he'd be one of the top 3. Next up is Josh Anderson, had 3 goals, 2 goals in the game. Dobson, I guess Saturday's game, 2 goals in that game as well. An empty netter was one of them. But Andy's been playing pretty good this week. I mean, better. Andy had a rough start. Hard to rack up points in the first couple of weeks and a few weeks. Because it's more than a couple month. And then he started to play better. He's putting up some points, playing the same kind of role as he did last year, thriving in that. Hopefully the rest of the season. But I thought he gets a mention here with his 3 goals. And that's the 3 stars of the week. And that's going to lead us into next week's games. So next week, we've got 3 games, and they are these ones. I'm calling for wins all around next week. Wins all around. Why am I doing that? We just came off a 5-game losing streak, a streak of 7 out of 8 games where we lost. I think that's what it was. And you know what? I think they're going to bounce back and put up a little bit of a winning streak of their own. I'm not saying they're going to go on a crazy one, but I can see a 4-game winning streak. Why not? They're playing. They're on the road. They play pretty good on the road. I think their road record's pretty good. I just feel they're going to bounce back, especially now after the addition of the new player Texier coming in. I have a feeling that's going to be a positive effect on the team. So I'm calling for 3 wins Wednesday, and remember this Wednesday because they're all odd times. 9:30 p.m. is the start time Wednesday. They are in Utah. They are in Utah on Wednesday, a 9:30 start. Don't forget. On Friday, 2 days later, because it's an afternoon game, 4 p.m. on Friday. Why would it be a 4 p.m. game on a Friday? Why? Because it's American Thanksgiving this weekend coming. So we're going to have a back-to-back Friday, Saturday situation with afternoon games. So Friday at 4 p.m., they are in Vegas to take on the Golden Knights. And Saturday, they are headed to Colorado, and they're going to take on the Avalanche, and that's a 3 p.m. start. So 4 p.m. on Friday, 3 p.m. on Saturday. Don't forget those start times, or you'll miss some action. All right, so I'm calling for 3 wins all the way around. I don't see why not. I think we beat Utah already. I don't see why we can't beat them just because it's in Utah. Vegas, I don't know. Off the top of my head, I can't say if we're like half decent against Vegas, but it doesn't matter because we're going to go in there and we're going to beat Vegas. And on Saturday against Colorado last season, Jacob Dobish in one of his first 5 games, didn't he beat Colorado? Or Colorado was one of those games where we started to play well after the 4 Nations. I think that could have been it. Anyways, one of those games. I don't see why we couldn't go into Colorado and beat Colorado. Why not? I'm thinking positively. I think they're going to have at least why not put on a 4-game winning streak? Nothing wrong with that. Let me know what you think about the possibility of the 4-game winning streak. Do that in the comment section. And before I take a pause to do the second half of the show, and I'm going through this pretty quickly. I got to tell you it's the last week of the November promotion. Get free shipping with every purchase of $150 or more. Use the coupon Free Ship November. It's all one word, Free Ship November. And that's at that address down there. It's also at the bottom of the screen, the whole show. And you can get hats, t-shirts, mugs. I'll show you what I've got here. You can also get phone covers. So if you want a phone cover, just have to email me the model of your phone, and I will email you back whether I can have one made for you. So that's all at the store. Talking Habs Media Shop.fourthwall.com. That's all you need to go know to get there. And that QR code at the top corner, that'll take you there as well. And you won't notice it, but I'll be right back. See, just like that. Snap. All right, let's get to the second half of the show. This is where I pose, I guess, 5 topics or questions, and then I either answer the question or talk about the topic. And here are the topics. All right, so we've got, are the Habs regressing to last year? What the fuck is wrong with the goalies? Bounce back versus the Leafs. Florian Xhekaj, should he stay here? Alexander Texier signs a 1-year deal. We're going to start with, are they regressing back to last year's first half team? Because if they were regressing back to the second half team, everything would be perfectly fine. Are they regressing? And we just had a slump, an 8 games, I think, where there's 7 losses in 8 games. Not great. After going 9-3-0, they look like they're regressing. I mean, that's just how it is. The injuries can be blamed on some of it, obviously, and I think that's actually a good bit of it. I don't really think that they are regressing back to that team we saw frustratingly in the first half of the season last season. I don't think so. I think with the Toronto game last night, I do believe you're gonna see a team that's going to bounce back, find their game again. I mean, the key is going to be the goalies. We're going to talk about that next, but this question is out there. Apparently, teams that are in the stage of the rebuild that Montreal is in right now, which is their 4th season of rebuild, some teams regress. And I imagine that means it extends the length of the rebuild. I'm hoping that's not the case here. I don't think that is the case here. Too much talent here. The young players like Suzuki was, like these guys are getting older and they're getting more experienced. There's enough. Well, I guess we lost some of the experience in some of those injuries, right? But the addition of Texier should help. He's got, I think, 8 years in the league, in not full seasons, but so I don't think it's a regression like that we have to worry that will they actually be like a playoff team, or are they going to fall backward a little bit and not be a contender like we do think they will be in a couple of seasons. I don't think so. I really don't think so. Even though there was a quote from Coach Marty that he was seeing some signs of what was going on last season. I don't think so. I think even if there were, it's something that they can bounce back from pretty easily, as every player is a little more experienced. They've seen it before. They've come out of it before. They can do that again. Like I said, I really think we're going to see a better week than the last week and a half, 2 weeks, and they're going to bounce back. So if the question is, are they regressing to the beginning of last season? No, I don't think that they are. That's one. What the fuck is wrong with the goalies? I know I don't swear much anymore in this, but today I can't help it with the goalies. Good to see Jacob Dobish hopefully find his game. Again, he did last night. It wasn't spectacular like Dobish can be, but it was solid. It was a solid performance after 4 appearances, I'll say, because one wasn't a start, where he was less than solid. So let's hope that Jacob Dobish has found his game again, and we don't have to ask this question. But it's a fair question. What the fuck is wrong with the goalies? A lot of people want Monty shipped out of town. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't want that to happen. I can't imagine Monty suddenly has forgotten how to play goal in the NHL. I don't think that's happened. His confidence is low. Somebody was commenting. I read a comment anywhere, somewhere. I don't remember where. It looks like his positioning's a little off. He needs to get that back on track. Is it the injury that he had in the playoffs last season that kept him out at the end of the series against Washington? Could be. If it was a groin injury, those can be problematic. So I don't know if that's what it is. Obviously, the team's not saying anything that way. Monty was looking like he was bouncing back out of it, and then the Washington game was, I mean, you can't help but blame him. I want to say for 2 of those 3 goals that he let in, definitely, if maybe all 3. So, we'll see. I mean, I don't know when Monty's next start is going to be. We are playing, as we know, we're playing Utah. I kind of think Monty is going to start in Utah. And it might not be. It could be Dobish, and then Monty gets Vegas, and Dobish gets Colorado. Is Dobish going to get the number one starter minutes right now, and Monty get the say one? Is Dobish going to get the 1A starts and Monty get the 1B starts? I don't know. Until Monty gets his confidence back, that might be it. So like, what the fuck is wrong with them? It's sometimes this happens. The thing is, it's like one of those things where both of them have seemed to gone into that lack of confidence slump, whatever, at the same time, and that doesn't always happen. Usually if your starter goes into a slump like that, the backup, um, steps up. For the last 2 weeks, that hasn't happened. So at least if Dobish can get his game back, and we're halfway there. We're going to need both goalies playing well for the rest of the season. So I think Monty's game will come back. When? I don't know. I'm hoping it's the next game. But I don't know. I don't know who's going to start in Utah. In thinking about it, it's probably going to be Dobish. Because if you think of the split with the back-to-back Friday, Saturday, Vegas, Colorado, it's not going to be the same goalie, right? So if Dobish is playing better and you have more confidence in Dobish, you play him against Utah, Monty against Vegas, Dobish against Colorado. To me, that makes more sense. If they're going to go right back to Monty and say, listen, it's like, when you get thrown from a horse. They tell you, get right back on. It's the same thing. So maybe it'll be Monty, Dobish, Monty. I don't know. I'm kind of thinking it's going to be Dobish for 2 of the games and Monty for 1, but we'll see what happens. So I think they'll bounce back. I don't know what else to say. It's a slump. They're both going through it at the same time. Hopefully Dobish is out of it. Monty hopefully will come out of it. If it's not a groin injury, if it's not the recovery, the uncomfortable, maybe still a little uncomfortable with the injury. I don't know. If that's what it is, it could take longer. If it's just his confidence, that's something he can get back with a good game or two. I need one. Anyways, that's what I think about are the goalies. What the fuck's wrong with the goalies? Let me know in the comment section. What do you think is wrong with the goalies? Let me know in the comment section. All right, so the Leafs game last night, because I'm filming this on Sunday, the Habs bounced back after losing 5 in a row. And they played well. It wasn't like they bounced back to a tight win, maybe an overtime, something like that, where it's really close and they just squeaked out a win. They didn't just squeak out a win, although in the first 10 minutes, it looked like it was going to be, I don't know. They did get the first goal of the game. But the first 10 minutes, I thought the Leafs might have been, slightly the better team. They were definitely outshooting us by a lot. And in the end, we end up outshooting them by a bit. Not a lot, but by a bit. So it looks like they bounced back. That's a good game for their confidence. You do have to sort of temper it a little bit in that Toronto also not playing well. They had gone, I think, 1 win in 7 games before the Habs game. And sometimes, though, that's what a slumping team needs, is just to find a team they can easily beat. It gets your confidence back. You score some goals. The goalie has a good game, and everything seems to be back on track. We'll see if they can continue that. Before coming in, I didn't look at see what Utah's record is and how they're playing. When we beat them earlier in the season, we're about even with them. I don't know how it is now, so I can't tell you if that's like maybe we're getting that deal again where we're going up against a team that's not as good as us right now. We are in their barn, though. That's a difference. And hopefully, I'll take a close 1-goal game. I'll take that. An overtime win, I'll take that for a second win in a row, just to get a second win in a row. Because if they can do that, that really helps build the confidence. That's what I'm looking for. And then going into Next two games where I hope they will win both games, even though it is a back-to-back situation. They're capable of winning back-to-back. Why not? Other teams do it. Why can't Montreal do it? Especially when I think they are going to be, you know, on a bit of a streak. So we'll see if that's the case. So a good bounce back game against a depleted Leafs team in no Matthews, no Matthew Nyes. I know Chris Tanev was out. There's a few guys that were out. So that's something there. A team not playing well, but a win's a win, right? A win's a win. They don't really ask you, like they say, they don't ask you how you won. They ask you how many, right? And it is what matters, how many, not exactly how you won them. It's how many you won. And so I think they can build on that, and that's what matters. All right, let's move on to something I think a lot of fans would like to see, and that is Florian Xhekaj stay here with Montreal. He had a solid debut last night, his NHL debut. Had an assist on, I don't remember whose goal, to be honest with you. I don't remember. I guess Andy's goal? No, yeah, because he was playing on the line with Anderson. So on Josh Anderson's first goal, not the empty netter. And he had a fight with, what's the guy's name? Dakota Mermis? Something like that. A kid not as, I don't think he has the size that Xhekaj has, but I think there was a skirmish around. Honestly, I don't know who's net, but this was against the backboards, and I think Mermis started it. To be honest with you, they were kind of scuffling there, and then they started throwing fists, and I think he regretted it. It was a solid win. Mermis walked away with a bloody nose. Xhekaj, I mean, looked untouched. And now Mermis got some shots in. I won't say he didn't. But, a dominating win by Xhekaj in his first game. There was some comment about this by Marty St. Louis that I think got misconstrued by some fans and thought that Marty is trying to control Florian after one game in the NHL, basically stating that he's the kind of guy that needs to play where you cross the line a little bit sometimes here and there, but he kind of wants to control a little bit where he plays at the line and then tries to play more in the team's system without hurting the team by taking long penalty, whatever, right? I think it got misconstrued as him trying to control. I didn't see it that way. I just thought, I think he liked what he saw in Florian's game. I think he recognizes that they actually need that. But, like all young fighters and guys that play a rough game like that enjoy the rough game like that, you got to rein them in a little bit, or else, it does hurt the team. If the team is playing down a man all the time because there's somebody sitting in the box, it's not great. Now, if it's a 10-minute or if it's a misconduct, a 5 or 10-minute misconduct, I don't know if that's as bad because it's a forward, right? A forward, another guy, you've got plenty of them on the ice. When it's a defense like Arbor, it hurts the game. It hurts the team a little bit more because now you're down to 5D for whatever length of time he's sitting in the box. So for me, I think Marty was just trying to, I don't know what the question was, the context of why he was saying that. I don't know that. But I kind of think that it was taken probably out of context and or misconstrued what he meant by that. I don't think Marty is going to try to handcuff Florian. I don't think so. I don't see why he would, because then why bring the kid up? Right? The kid's coming up. He's bringing something that's needed right now. Putting handcuffs on him doesn't make sense. So my first initial thought on that is I don't think Marty was taken. I think he was misunderstood. I'll just say misunderstood. Now, to get back to Florian Xhekaj, would I like to see him stay here? I definitely would. I think he should stay here. He looks like he's ready. Let him stay here for a little bit and until he either proves that he is ready and there's no doubt about it, or that he's not and he needs to go back a little bit. So I hope with the signing of Texier that doesn't mean that Florian's going to go down. I kind of think it's going to be Davidson that goes down because Davidson was playing on a fourth line. I think Texier is going to be on the fourth line. So I think that. And then if Texier is going to be on the third line, still think it's going to be Davidson because Florian will go to the fourth line. And I think we need him in the lineup. I really do. One thing that's been missing, it's clear, is Montreal is not big enough. And we're struggling against, they call them heavy teams. And we're struggling against that, right? We need a guy like Florian. A Texier's at 6'1" he's not the size of Florian Xhekaj. So I think Florian stays. I think he should stay. And I gotta believe that the management and the coaching staff want him to stay. So again, let me know in the comment section how you feel about that. I dare say most people are going to say, yeah, we want him to stay. I want to see more of that. Not that we need to see fighting all the time, but man, we need that physical presence up front, not just on the back end. We need it up front a little bit too. And you know what? If you got a fourth line that bangs the bodies, that plays mean, that keeps, that's and that might be playing against top lines here and there, if not always. I'm not sure what lines he'd be playing against, but you want guys that can bang bodies, bang those defensemen around in the offensive zone, tire them out, that kind of stuff. So yes, Florian Xhekaj, stay here in Montreal. Never go back down to Laval. That would be awesome, in my opinion. All right, now we have this. Montreal Canadiens sign forward, and this guy plays all three forward positions. Alexandre Texier. No, he's not from Quebec. He is actually born in France, but he is French, so they will like him here. So they signed him to a 1-year, $1 million contract. He was available on waivers. Montreal smartly, and because the question was out there, why didn't they pick him up off waivers? Well, he had a 2-year. He was on the first year of a 2-year contract worth $2.1 million AAV. This is half that, a little less than half that, and they only have a commitment of 1 year, so there's no risk to that. I mean, there's absolutely no risk to this signing here. Texier, as you'll see here in his hockey DB, he's not going to put up a ton of points for you. His career high in games and all across the board, actually. His last season with Columbus, 78 games, 12 goals, 18 assists, 30 points. I mean, that's the only time, and he hasn't come really close to playing 78 games, and he will get, what, how many will we get? We're at 22 games. So he could get 60 games here at most, which would be his second highest total if he gets all that in the NHL. So, I mean, you're looking at a guy that's going to deliver 0.3 or 4 points per game, probably, at best. But he is experienced. He's got 8 years in the league. He's got experience. He hasn't won anything, but I kind of see this along the lines of an Alex Carrier in this way. Alex Carrier came in and he settled down that second pairing, which made a huge difference for Montreal last season, right? It was night and day over Barron, right? I think if Texier does what I guess Montreal's hoping they're going to do, he's going to do, is that he'll come in here and do the same thing for the fourth line, which has been kind of struggling, right? Not really producing. I think he can come in possibly and settle down that fourth line. Now you say it's a fourth line. How important is that? You know what, though, for a championship team, for a playoff team, a contender or playoff team, a fourth line is really important. You may not think so, but a fourth line doing the job, if it can be a fourth line that, keeps points off the board, creates a lot of energy, bangs bodies around, that can make a lot of difference in a team's production, in a team's winning or losing. The difference between winning and losing sometimes can be on that fourth line. All right, so Texier, he is 6'1", 196 pounds, 26 years old, left wing, shoots left, but he is able to play all three forward positions. He was born in France, in Saint Martin d'Arez. I don't know if that D'Arez. I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce that. In France. I mean, listen, if you guys have watched a lot of hockey, you've seen him play. Nothing to write home about, but he doesn't have to be. He's here, I think, to help settle down the bottom six. And also, we need depth. We've got a bunch of injuries. He's solid depth. Veleno really hasn't been doing the job. So some competition for Veleno. Will he replace Veleno in the lineup? I don't know. But I see him along the lines of that. So, Texier, I think it's a good move for Montreal. It's no risk, $1 million. If he doesn't work out, you send him to the minors. You get that $1 million back in relief, and there's no harm, no foul. What's the saying? No harm, no foul, right? Something like that. And no risk in a 1-year deal. He's not signed to any term. By waiting for him to become a UFA after the waivers, because he was waived for the purposes of giving him his unconditional release, I guess is how they term that. By waiting and then signing him, it's the money is minimal, the risk is minimal, and if he works out, one of those moves where you go, wow, Hughes was, is a fantastic GM. He recognized the opportunity and he jumped on it. And that's all I got. I don't know what else to say about Texier. I wrote a couple of things. Let me see if I didn't say any of it. I said it all. I didn't need to read it. Okay, so that's it. I got nothing else. Let me know what you think in the comment section, which is down there. And give me your opinion on Texier. Give me your opinion on Florian Xhekaj staying up here. What you thought of who your Habs 3 stars of the week are, if you want to do that. And anything else that I talked about here, let me know what you think. I'll be back next week. Maybe Matt will be with me next week. I don't know. He wasn't ready this week yet. And that's all I got for you. Hopefully looking at a good, productive week for Montreal. If I'm right, 3 wins. And we'll be back on our way. We're just sitting just outside the playoffs right now. It doesn't matter. It's still early. But I like to see them up in there. So hopefully by next time I do this podcast, we'll be back into a playoff position and looking good again. And that's it. So have a great week. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. Till next time. Stay safe out there. Peace out, y'all. And then, go Habs go. Go Habs go. Welcome to Montreal. Alexandre Texier, and Florian Xhekaj. Stick around. Have a good one, bud. I was going to call you have a good one, bud. Have a good one, and I'll see you next week. And I'm going to shut up now because my mouth is going faster than my brain, seems like. Ciao, everybody.
Swagger down the street with your red lips and funky beat. You better hold your head up to the sky. I'm going to roll with you till the day I die.